It's a beautiful evening today, and I have something interesting to talk about as usual. Today is going to be beautiful, and then I came with my notes. 98% of the time I talk from my head. Tonight I decided to come with my notes, so it's going to be hot. Tonight I showed up with my note. That means that I came to teach. Tonight's conversation is very serious, but we'll blend it with wisdom and wit. So welcome on board. It's my pleasure to be hosting you once again. And then I hope you're feeling the fire. I just decided to spice up my existence, and then I added this color because having survived a pandemic, you must be grateful. You must just be appreciative that you are here, and that's what it is. So I'm just glad that we are here and we're still fulfilling purpose. Still, we no longer have an assignment to do. So welcome on board once again. Tonight's conversation is going to be very hot, like the color of my hair. So everyone join in. I hope that your day has been beautiful, because I'm about to drop it really hard. And I came with my note. 98% of the time I talk straight from my head, but for me to have shown up with a note is going to be very serious. What are we talking about today? We'll be talking about forgiveness, the 4 stages of forgiveness, and what exactly forgiveness is. Is forgiveness the same as reconciliation? Is forgiveness the same as restoration? What does it mean to forgive, and what are the 4 stages of forgiveness? So if you're joining, welcome on board. Welcome to all my fans, the soul stripping community, and everybody listening to me today. So if you haven't sent the link to your friend, if you have a friend who has an issue with anybody, who has an issue forgiving their father, their mother, their siblings, colleagues, anybody who has offended, hurt, and triggered their trigger once or before, this is a fantastic conversation to join. So please just share the link with them and say, you know what, something is about to go down. If you were to show up in my office in Lagos or Texas, some dollars would have left your account and you would have noticed. It would just be like virtual living. So it's a fantastic time to please share the link. We'll be discussing forgiveness. What is forgiveness and the 4 stages of forgiveness? So let's have the conversation. What exactly is forgiveness? I mentioned that I came with my notes because I wanted us to check out the technical and professional meaning before I explain it. I wanted to ensure that I gave it to you, like I like to do. Yeah, so what exactly is forgiveness? Forgiveness is a process where someone who has been wronged, someone who has been offended or wronged, chooses to let go of their resentment. That's the first one. A process where somebody who has been offended or wronged decides or chooses to let go of their resentment and offer a hand of compassion to the wrongdoer. So it's a decision to let go of resentment. That is what it is, or what forgiveness means, a decision to let go of resentment. We're discussing forgiveness tonight. What exactly is forgiveness and the 4 stages of forgiveness? The first is that forgiveness is the process where someone who has been offended, someone who has been wronged, someone whose trigger has been triggered, decides to forgive the wrongdoer and extends a hand of compassion to the wrongdoer, or what you would normally call the offender. We all offend, so that's what it is, the offender. Now, before talking about the 4 stages, really, let's still talk about what forgiveness is and what forgiveness is not. So, the decision to overcome pain that was inflicted by somebody else. That's another definition for forgiveness. The decision to overcome pain that was inflicted by somebody else. Another one, letting go of anger, letting go of resentment, letting go of shame or other emotions attached and associated with the injustice, even though the feelings are valid and they are reasonable feelings. Finally, treating the offender with compassion, even though they are not entitled to it. So forgiveness really is about your decision to evacuate and release yourself from that emotional burden and pain your decision to choose forgiveness as opposed to traveling through life with that burden. What forgiveness is not is that forgiveness is not necessarily reconciliation. So you can afford to forgive and not reconcile. And I would explain what that means. Reconciliation means repairing or returning to a relationship. So you can forgive someone, but not necessarily return to the relationship. You can forgive someone, not necessarily restore them to what both of you used to have. So for example, someone might have sexually assaulted you or something. You can forgive the person, but definitely not be the person's close friend or be where that scenario can repeat itself. So we're talking about you can forgive but not reconcile. People usually say a statement that, oh, forgive and forget. The human brain has no capacity to forget. Once your brain experiences an experience, or once your brain experiences a scenario, it has no capacity to forget. What will happen is that your brain can store it somewhere, your brain can suppress it, you can feel like you have forgotten, but a reminder will show up once that particular scenario reenacts itself. You will just hear something called trauma or trigger, So you can forgive but not necessarily be in close proximity with the wrongdoer or the offender so that you don't experience the scenario again. What exactly is forgiveness not also? Forgiveness is not forgetting the injustice. So I know somebody, for example, whose spouse was killed. One way or the other, they found the killer in Nigeria and the person insisted on meeting the killer. The person met the killer, but still ensured that justice took its place. So the killer is right now languishing in jail, enjoying his life in jail. But she forgave. So forgiveness is not you pretending that the law should not take its place. You know, sometimes people show up and say, no, if you forgive, you will restore that Christ is something. You know, some people just come up and I say to them that the reason why hell is relevant is because there's something called consequences. And the world is ruled by principles. So if you do something that hurts somebody else, there's a reward for that, otherwise called consequence. So somebody can forgive you, but you will still experience the consequence, and jail may be part of it. So forgiveness is not that you are wiping a slate clean or whatever, or leaving something there. Hell is relevant because some people, whatever they want, they may just choose it, and everybody has a right to do anything. God is loving, God is beautiful, God is forgiving, but hell is relevant. And the relevance of hell is as important as the relevance of heaven, because there are consequences. So forgiveness is also not condoning or excusing the offender's behavior. Forgiveness is not letting go but wishing for revenge. So we're discussing forgiveness tonight, what forgiveness is and what forgiveness is not. So you're welcome on board if you're just joining. And I mentioned that forgiveness is a process and a decision to forgive a wrongdoer, to let go of pain. And I also emphasize that forgiveness does not necessarily mean reconciliation. Someone can hurt you, someone can sexually abuse and assault you. You will forgive them, but you will not stay in that scenario where it can repeat itself. You would not stay with someone who is not necessarily acting like a human being. So what are the 4 stages of forgiveness? 4 stages of forgiveness. And this is crucial because some of us may have issues with our parents, our siblings. Some of us might have experienced some things before, and our feelings are very valid. Our feelings are very legitimate. What you feel is what really any human being should be feeling. The feelings are valid, the feelings are legitimate, but how do we move on from pain to healing? How do we embark on our healing journey? Because We are responsible for our healing. So how do we embark on it? So the 4 stages of forgiveness. Welcome everybody. Hope you had a beautiful day. If you didn't have a beautiful day, you still have a couple of hours. Tomorrow is fantastic. Make use of it. Like all of us are grinding and ensuring that we are responsible for ourselves. So 4 stages of forgiveness. The first one is the uncovering stage. I'll explain what it means. The second one is the decision phase. The third one is the work phase. And the final one is the deepening phase. Uncovering, decision, work, and deepening phase. What does it mean to uncover? 4 stages of forgiveness. What does it mean to uncover? To uncover means that during the first stage of forgiveness, you would improve your understanding of the injustice and how the injustice has impacted your life. What that means is that at the uncovering level, you are sitting down to even understand, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? How did I get here? Understanding the source of the pain. Understanding, because you can't heal from a pain you do not understand. You can't correct what you are not aware of. So at the uncovering phase is that you want to even discover what is triggering my trigger, what is paining me, how the understanding of the injustice and how it has affected and impacted your life. That is the uncovering stage, which is the first stage of forgiveness. The second stage of forgiveness is the decision phase. Decision phase. At the decision phase, which is the second phase, you would gain a deeper understanding of what forgiveness is and make the decision to choose or reject forgiveness as an option. So you move and proceed from uncovering stage to the decision phase, where you are choosing. The key word is choosing, because you have the right to decide to forgive or not to forgive. But we usually advocate that you forgive. But you have a right. But in your right, we also emphasize consequences management, the ability to understand that your decision to remain in pain may be hurting you more than your decision to let go of that pain. So at the first stage is the uncovering stage. This second stage is the decision phase, where you are choosing to forgive, checking out forgiveness as an option. So if your parent or anybody has offended you, you first of all need to sit down to analyze, how is this paining me? How is this affecting me? What is paining me about this? What am I feeling? Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? What exactly is going on? That's the uncovering phase, on trying to uncover, discover, understanding the source of the pain and how this pain has impacted your life. Then at the decision phase is your ability or your decision to choose to forgive. Your decision to choose to forgive and to pick up forgiveness as an option. The third phase is the work phase. During the work phase, you start to understand the offender in a new way. Probably thinking, if they knew better, they probably would do better. If my parents had and were more equipped or better equipped with parenting skills, it would have been better. If they did this, if something had happened, at the work phase, you are trying to discover and to see the offender in a new way, which will give you positive feelings towards the offender and yourself. You are trying as much as possible to understand the offender. When I was younger, I had some uncomfortable or discomforting feelings towards my father. If you haven't read my article before, it's on my blog, oyinkansolalabi.com, my website. You can just read what's going on there. And I had to walk through these phases to uncover, to check out what really is the issue or what the issue is, and then to get to the decision phase where I chose to forgive, and then this other phase, which is the work phase, where I am trying to understand the wrongdoer, the offender. I try to understand him better. If he knew better, I would have done this. If he was better equipped, if he was raised properly, me trying to really understand my supposed offender, my supposed wrongdoer. The final stage at the forgiveness level, we have journeyed from uncovering to decision to work phase. The final stage at the forgiveness level is the deepening phase. At the deepening phase, during this phase, you will further decrease the negative emotions associated with the injustice. The deepening phase is, as much as possible, we are beginning to see that pain in a way that we can use the pain to our advantage. You will begin to find meaning in the experience. You will recognize ways in which that pain has made you grow. So for me, for example, even though I would have preferred a different background, I am grateful for my background. So I do not regret my background, but maybe things could have been easier. But my background gave me the strength that I have today. My background shaped me. So I can give you an example. I graduated from Tunwashe Nursery and Primary School. Then I proceeded to Mayflower Secondary School, Tai Sholarin School at that time. In Mayflower, you wake up by 5:15. You first of all go and jog. Then you are forced to eat. Like we ate beans for 6 years straight. Every morning, Mayflower Secondary School, you will eat beans. No matter what happens, you will eat. Like when I was there for 6 years, we ate beans every morning. We're conditioned, we're programmed. I haven't met a Mayflower student who doesn't love beans. You don't love beans because you love beans. We love beans because it's not in our DNA. We don't have any option. What is Simunje? When you say that they are washed from age, I ate beans from age 9 to 15. By the time I was clocking 16, it was no longer I that lived it. It was me and beans and God living yours. So Mayflower was there. Then I went to Olabisi Onabanjo University. Some people call it Osu, whatever the school is. Yeah. You can't go to Osu and not have sense. Then I lived in Mushin for 18 years. You can't live in Mushin and not have sense. Do you understand? So my background made me know that, anywhere you throw us, we will be all right. Like, you can't even live in Lagos and not be normal. So by the time we show up in any other country, they just know that spirits have come. We are not human beings, we are encounters. So I am grateful for my background, even though maybe I'd have preferred to, have an accent, born in Banana Island, so that just waking and sleeping, not every time be working hard, be walking, hustling, But I am totally grateful. I'm grateful for my journey. I'm grateful for my pathway. I'm grateful for my story. I'm grateful. So, everywhere that I have been to, this entire story has strengthened me. So when people see me today and I say to them, I'm not a motivational speaker. I have walked through pain. I've sold ice water before. I've sold stick meat before. I used to ride horses to deliver gifts in Nigeria. I used to plan surprise gift delivery, merchants or romance, and all of that. I said, if you have been with me for 18 years, I have traveled. Like my journey is extremely interesting. I wrote my first book when I was 17, published it at 19. I have been working hard. I'll be 37 in September. It's not small. Like we have been up and about. Grace has preserved us. We have died repeatedly. Grace has preserved us. So I say to them, I have tested hard work. I have tested grace. I have tested diligence. And I know that all of these things work. I have been badly behaved before. I call myself a retired nuisance. So to be an emotions doctor, I understand what I'm saying. So everyone who has read Soul Stripper, it's my life on print. It's my soul on print. It's on Kindle. There's doorstep delivery in Lagos. Well, that ends on Friday anyway. The free doorstep delivery ends on Friday. After Friday, you buy the book, you pay for delivery. So if you want to save any money, you better slide into my DM to get the delivery of you if you're in Lagos State. Abroad, I hire Jeff Bozo. Don't forget about the fact that he's the richest guy. He's on my payroll. He's collecting royalty from my books. So it's my staff. Yeah, he does doorstep delivery and Kindle has been on fire. 4 stages of forgiveness. Some of us have issues with our parents, with our siblings, with our friends, with our colleagues or our work, and sometimes we hate these people because they probably stood in gap or somewhere along the line, they messed us up at a point or the other. Your feelings are valid. I am here to let you know that you have a right to feel pain. Your feelings are valid. You have a right to feel upset. You are not demonic for feeling upset. Your feelings are very valid. But you need to travel through the 4 phases of forgiveness. You need to uncover the pain. You need to decide to forgive. You need to start the work by extracting the growth and how you have grown, how the pain has made you grow. And then finally is also learning from the pain. Because we can talk, we can do all of that, but I am grateful for the lessons, that I have gone through. Who is this one yabbing me here now? You experience the old income. What did you experience the old income? Because people start. Yes. What did I do to you before? What did I do to you? 4 phases: uncovering, then decision, then the work phase, and then the final one is the deepening phase. But no matter what, you have a choice to forgive. I advocate for forgiveness, but I also want you to know that forgiveness is a journey. Sometimes you are not there yet, but I always encourage people that as much as possible, let's all embark on that journey to be there, to embark on the journey of forgiveness. And you can forgive and not reconcile. And sometimes some Christians say, no, if you are really a Christian, God has forgiven all of us. God forgives all of us, but hell is still relevant. Hell is still very, very relevant. The reason for that is that despite the forgiveness, some of us are Malians. So there's a Malian headquarters. And then if you prefer peace and joy and love, there's the headquarters also. So you will just choose where you want to rent an apartment. And then you can be the landlord. Anything you want to do is fine. But forgiveness is crucial. And one of the reasons why forgiveness is crucial is that strife drains you of energy for progress. Strife drains you of energy for success. And I would explain to you the same emotional energy that we invest and we evacuate or pour into our work is the same energy we'll be pumping into malice and strife. And if at every point in time, it drains us of all of us, where you just sit down and you feel very heavy. You feel very heavy because you are carrying so many people in your heart. People who have hurt you. And then you have a reason and you have a right to be upset. But being upset does not necessarily mean that that's where we are supposed to be. Some of us, our parents really hurt us. Some of us is our siblings. Some of us is our family members. Some of us is our friends. Some of us are colleagues. And we have different encounters per time. But an emotionally intelligent adult needs to understand that as we grow older, we begin to get to the work phase where we know that if people know better, they will do better. It is not very easy for people to malfunction. It is not very easy for people to behave like a nuisance. And being a nuisance is a state. It's not an insult. You can be a nuisance now and be wise in 10 minutes. So it's a state. And it's not a permanent state except you make it permanent. So it is not easy for us to malfunction. It's a state of unconscious incompetence where we don't know that we don't know. So at the work phase is where we are giving excuses for people. And when I say giving excuses for people, it's not necessarily hurting yourself. It's not necessarily denying your existence. It is you saying to yourself that I deserve more. It is you saying to yourself that I should be treated better. It is you saying to yourself that no, this is not what I deserve. But while you are owning up to the truth and saying those truths to yourself, you are also not being hard on the other person. You are also just saying, you know what, I like you, I love you, but we're not necessarily supposed to be in the same energy space. we do not have to be in the same area or in the same environment. So we can be cool, we can be calm, we can be beautiful together, but we're not necessarily supposed to be ride or die. God is cool with Satan. And when I say God is cool with Satan, like the guy is where he is, but they're not ride or die. Satan is doing his thing, God is doing his thing. Both of them know that he exists. Both of them know that he exists. If God wanted to scatter or strike him dead, like are you joking? But no, Satan is relevant for whatever agenda he wants to drive, and the agenda is subject to what he want to do. What God, yeah. Both of them are they're on different wavelength, because there's a purpose for everything, and then Satan is doing whatever he was designed to be doing. So everybody has a right to whatever they want to do, but we also have a right to check out the energy we bring into our lives. And once we see that the energy is not compatible, then we can afford to do what? Just say, you know what, isn't working for me. So the 4 stages of forgiveness, please listen to it. If you're just joining us, you can listen to it. I'll post it on Instagram again for us to rewatch, and of course on my YouTube page. But this is for everyone who seemingly have a problem with their parents. All of us were parented in a particular way, except some few. In their generation, if they knew better, they would do better. For them, it was patriarchy, it was domestication, it was so many things. Women were acquired, men were ruling. It looked like women were created for men. That's their generation. But we're raising new ancestors. We are raising new ancestors, emotionally intelligent ancestors. We are raising new people who will rescript healthy and empowering paradigms. And that's why we're here. So if that generation knew better, they would do better. So we are saying, you know what? All of us are equal. We'll respect ourselves. We'll submit unto one another, just like we have been instructed to do. Submission is not gender related. Submission is for everybody. Any wise person submits to anything or anyone that is superior. You are not a king all through life. You own your kingdom, but other kingdoms exist. My Baba came to my office to carve this design yesterday. Spent about 3 hours. After a while, I was just wondering, guy, what are you doing? Kilo shele gongon. This thing is taking time. But I had to sit down because, I didn't want him to finish, and then I'll be looking like Ishawuru, or what do they call it? Strange objects. That was submission. Submission to somebody whose profile is not close to mine. That is submission. When I see traffic light, I submit. When I go to the kitchen to make my food and I put on the gas, it's submission. You reduce the burner and the flame to what you need. If you increase it beyond what you need, you and the plantain you are frying will be fried. So I submit to gas, I submit to electric cooker, I submit to, what do they call this thing? Heater, I submit to everything. Submission is the capacity to want to put on a socket, an electric socket, or what do they call it, and then you know that you feel wet. You first of all go and dry yourself. That's submission. Because lack of submission means that you want to electrocute yourself. Nobody has to explain that. It's just, you just receive sense. Submission is the capacity to see somebody with a gun and you say, good afternoon, sir. You're not necessarily respecting the carrier. You are respecting the inanimate object. That has the capacity to become body spray and relocate you without your permission. Do you understand? So if you are submitting to things that cannot speak, how much more a human being? So if you're joining us, welcome on board. We had a beautiful conversation on submission. If you didn't watch it earlier on, you can just watch it again on my IG Live. I will download it and put it there. And then I also spoke about the fact that free dubstep delivery of Soul Stripper, my book, is ending on Friday. So if you buy after Friday, you are going to pay for the book and also pay for delivery. Yeah, that's what it is. So it's been beautiful hanging out with you. I just wanted you to understand submission and the fact that sometimes we're holding our parents in unforgiveness, and we also need the same energy to succeed. You can't use one energy, that energy within you, to fight and also want to succeed. You have to choose. You can't compartmentalize the pain. You suppress it, you pretend it doesn't exist, but both of us know that it exists, and both of us know that you can do better, you can perform better, and then if you can't walk through the 4 phases of forgiveness alone, please get a therapist or a coach within your rate card or your money or your bill, whatever it is, to help you sort it out. So it's been nice hanging out with you. The stages of forgiveness, I would download this video and put on my Instagram page, like a post, so you can watch it and experience the 4 stages of forgiveness. Please extend this to your friends. Oh, I'm glad that your daughter and yourself are listening. Yes, we have emotional intelligence for children class coming up. It starts in June and it's the final class for this price. It will be reviewed by July. 100% increase, because right now we're running a cost. We need to start making profit. So if you want to, just check my wall. And for everybody who has signed up for the Emotional Intelligence Week dinner with Mr. Alike Oda, I'll see you there on the 5th of June. I can't wait to see you. Thank you guys so much. This video will be downloaded and then you can watch all over again. It will also be on YouTube. 4 stages of forgiveness, why forgiveness is important. Okwe and I went to the same secondary school. He's fled Nigeria now, so he loves me internationally. Okwe, I hope you've bought my book. How many copies did you buy on Kindle? Okwe, you know what? Please just snap it, the one you bought, and send me the picture. You know the meaning, just snap the Kindle copy you bought. Just snap it and send me the picture. Okwe, I'll be waiting for you in my DM. Alrighty, you guys, thank you so much. You have a beautiful It's a beautiful Thursday. Make the best use of your Thursday as you walk through the 4 stages of forgiveness. See you on Sunday at the Soul Stripping Spa Show. Would I be having a guest? I'm not sure yet, but whatever it is, I'll see you on Sunday evening by 8:30 p.m.